who is this? Maybe this is the lecturer, or maybe this is like a senior student or so, right? So, hi, Kevin. Okay, can everyone in Zoom hear me?
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, this is actually my very first hybrid class. It will be your second, right? You already had one yesterday. So hopefully that it's going to be a new experience for everyone. And I'm so proud that so many of you are actually here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Supposedly 20 students, yeah, 20 students of BMM who are able to come to campus. That is really great. I think we have the most students who are actually willing to come on campus. So for today, actually, it's not supposed to be me who's standing in front of you. It's supposed to be Butara, if you still remember. We have 4 faculty members in BMM, right? Bu Mira as the head, and then Bu Adila as the vice, and then the subject content coordinator or SEC. We have Butara and I. So Butara was in the hospital due to dengue fever. So it's not always COVID. Yeah, we still have a lot of other diseases around as well. So she's not able to be with you guys today. So I'm going to be here replacing her. So the topic for today, as you all know, what is the topic for today? Do and don'ts, that's the title of the PPT. But what is the title of today's event in your invitation? What is it? Do you all remember? No? No? Yes?
Ini kan
Yeah. Yeah. Iron Man. What is it?
the title or the course?
Title of today's class.
The class is fundamental course for
BMM. And then
BMM. The title is Do and Don'ts in Exams.
what is the title of the PPT? What is the title in your invitation today? Because there are so many fundamental courses for BMM, right? Yesterday's courses is also fundamental courses in BMM. But what is the actual title? It's supposed to be in your invitation, I'm pretty sure.
Excelling in your written exam. One.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Excelling in your written exam. So in your written exam, of course, for the past semester, we've been doing online exam, right? And I'm pretty sure that, did you also manage to do online exam for your high school before you, yep. So can someone just share what was it like in the high school? So that I can tell you whether it's the same or different with uni. RJ, you want to say something?
My online exams?
Yeah, in high school.
I personally don't like it.
You personally don't like it?
Because there's a lot of, sometimes you can go through a lot of issues, like maybe server error or network error. So it kind of loses you. It makes you lose focus in the exam. And personally, I like to do my exam in paper because it's just better. It's not what I grow up
Okay.
to online.
Okay, but what was the mechanism? Like the lecturer sent you exam paper. Hi, very nice shot. So back to my question, what was the mechanism? Is it like the teacher sends you the exam paper and then you have to give them the answer? In high school?
They give you a special link where, so in online, so when you click on that link, the exam will start and your camera will automatically turn on, and and then you just have to do the exams. And there are multiple choice questions and essays.
Okay, so in a limited time, right? Maybe 2-3 hours, and then you have to
There's like a 2-hour time limit.
Oh, I see. Who has a different experience in your high school exam? What was it in your high school? Or how is it like in your high school exam? Anyone else? Maybe in Zoom? If someone raises your hand, can you please unmute yourself? Because I can see you all the time. So you need to tell me. Anyone here? A different way of doing exam in high school? during the pandemic? Who are here? Because I don't know. Can you all just mention your name one by one so that I know who you are? We have RJ and then? Sorry? Bravery. Okay. Oh, okay. There you are. Sorry? Sorry? Atria. Okay. And then? I will still 1.5. Yes. Audrey. Right? Flavia. Flavia. Okay. Alicia. Oh, okay. Natalie. Right? Alicia. Okay. Jason, because I remember your name. You have to check in?
Yeah.
Oh, for the class? Okay. Jason? Yeah, so did you have a different experience in your high school exam? It's like BINUS Maya. It's like a platform where you can upload and then you submit it there in a limited time frame as well. Okay. So I want to ask, be very, very honest. Who has cheated in their online exam in high school? 1,
Me.
2, 3, 4. Oh, there's a me. Who is that?
Aiman.
Ivan. Okay. Who else? Okay, almost everyone, I guess, right? Half of the class. Can you raise your hand again one more time? Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh. Hold on, yeah. Just give me a moment so that I don't have.
Belum di on.
Oh, ya ampun. Kenapa gaptek ya ampun? Masih muda udah gaptek. Oke, oke. Thank you so much, Kak. Okay. Right after that, right after go. One more time. Who has cheated in their online exam? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 out of 20. So that's half of the class, right? Okay. So I know that it is extremely easy for you to cheat on online exam, especially if it's not like RJ, because in RJ's case, your camera is on.
There's also a sensor.
There's also a
You have to
sensor.
be there.
Oh, wow. That is
If your face is not like
in front of the camera.
it's not in front of the camera or like half of your face, it will detect and it will like stop your
Exam.
exam
You can't
until
do
your
it.
face shows back up.
Wow, that is really cool. Which high school did you go to?
I went to the International World Academy.
So
It's a new school.
it's a new school? Okay. Well, we have to adapt that as well. Well, of course, maybe in some of your high schools that did not happen. So you have all of the freedom to yourself. You can do whatever you want during the time given. And of course, you can definitely just copy, paste from your friends, right? It is very, very easy. So even those who did not cheat in an online and an offline exam might cheat in an online exam because of how easy it is, right? So, of course, I think the rector has mentioned that BINUS has a very strict policy on that, right? So he has also mentioned that grades are not that important as long as you have integrity. And what is integrity? Sorry? Honesty, exactly. Integrity means that you are doing what you're supposed to do without anyone's watching. Okay, that is integrity. So if I'm supposed to do my exams by myself, although no one is watching, although we don't have the technology that RJ's high school has, you will still do your exam honestly. That is integrity, right? And of course, I know no matter how many times I am saying to you, no matter how many times the rector is saying to you, there will be students who still cheat. I mean, it's an online exam, who knows? We cannot do anything because then we don't have any proof, right? But again, this is what I always tell my students, is that you come to university not to just graduate, right? I mean, some of you probably are, but I personally am very, very happy if my students are not just smart, but they have the moral that is really good, so that in the future you will become someone in the society that is willing to basically do our mission. What is BINUS vision? You have probably heard it so many times. What is the BINUS vision 2025? Who knows? 2035, yeah. Oh, well, 2035, sorry. What is BINUS vision? Who knows? Maybe someone in the Zoom knows? Someone is probably searching up in Google. What is the vision of BINUS? Let me recall my mind. Okay, Ferda.
Striving for excellence.
Striving for excellence is one of the main part of spirit, as is striving for excellence. But what is the main vision? Who knows? You have probably heard it so much during the FYP. Probably has been repeated so many times. Basically, the vision is to no one is even willing to Google it for like a few seconds. Exactly, foster and empower the society in building and serving the nation, right? So basically, what we are doing is we want to make sure that Indonesia, which is a nation, becomes a better place, becomes a better country. And that does not happen if the people in it are not, they don't have integrity, and basically they are not willing to serve for the nation, right? So my main point is that me as a lecturer, since I'm a new lecturer, I already told you all that I'm a new lecturer, so I still have this very big vision that I want to achieve, that university should not be only to educate you with subjects, because you can get that from anywhere. You can get it from Google easily, right? Whatever that I'm teaching you, if it's materials, you can get it from YouTube. You can get it from wherever that is online. And as lecturers, we can never beat internet, right? Who am I to beat an internet that has so many information available in it, right? So I can never beat internet. So you can always find all of the information that we give you, we deliver to you, if it's just materials. So why do you have to go to uni then? What is the main point of going to uni then? So you can get everything online. What is my role here? Why do I have to be here and teaching you all? You can just search it out on YouTube and Google in the comfort of your own home. So why do I have to be here as a lecturer? Now let me ask you, since you're the students, right? Why are you here? Why aren't you home? Just learning from the technology, from internet. Why do you come to campus? I did.
I think the sake of university is not only just to study like high school and finish our education, but it's also to the last kind of step to mature and get introduced to the real world for later on for our jobs. Because later on when we work, it's not all about education and knowledge. It's also about, again, integrity and honesty, and how you are as a person, and how you develop as a person in university will help you throughout your
Exactly. Thank you very much, Arjun. I want to listen from the woman, from the female who wants to volunteer. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's half of the class. Any volunteer from the female? Speak up. They're all equal. We have half male and half female. I want to sit on the side. Who wants to volunteer? Do I have to call you off? Come on, come on. Angel. Angel, why are you here? Why aren't you just learning from an online program that is actually good? Why not learn from YouTube? That's the college. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So she's being very honest because the first thing that she said was college degree. So you are here for the graduation certificate. Is it? Most of you are here for the graduation certificate. Can you sad? Because I know that, well, yes, universities will give you a graduation certificate which you can use in the future to apply for jobs. But hopefully, your learning experience is not just about that. So, for me personally, I think that uni is supposed to be where you have networking, right? You have friends here, which will supposedly be very successful people as well in the future, because you all said that you want to be an entrepreneur, right? Last time in my other class. So you should all be very successful businesswomen and businessmen. So first you have networking. And the second is so that you start to learn how exactly what Adi said, how the real life is looking. That's why we don't have classes every day from like high school. You have classes from the morning to the afternoon, back to back. You have classes, there are breaks, and so you are free to do whatever you want during the break. You are free to do basically whatever you want. So there is no, we are not forcing you to do to come to school, basically school in a way every day and have homeworks and so on. You are more free to do your own stuff. But that is also how the real work is going to be. You will be free to do whatever you want during the working hours in a way, but you have to make sure that the job is done, right? In this case, you have to make sure that your grades are good and so on. But again, in the process of doing that, of course, most of the time is the soft skills that you will learn. What do I mean by soft skills? What are soft skills? Okay, what are technical skills? Anyone from Zoom? I feel like I'm not really, interacting with you guys. Anyone from Zoom wants to answer? What are technical skills? Okay, since I can see you. Marvin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What are technical skills?
Technical skills. I think there are skills that are needed to do your work.
Can you give me an example?
Like, if you're working as a technician, you need the knowledge and stuff like that, and experience. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. What are soft skills?
It's more on your personality and attitude, I think.
Exactly. Very good. Can you give me an example? Can you give me one skill that is a soft skill?
Leadership.
Okay, leadership. Very good. Thank you very much, Marvin. Anyone else from here? Give me one type of soft skill. Leadership skill. And then what else do we have? Soft skill. Yes. Teamwork. Exactly. Very good. Can we have another one? Yes, I did.
Communication.
Communication skill, exactly. Very good. What else? Yes. Adaptability, very good. Thank you very much. What else? Yes. Critical thinking, thank you very much. Very good. What else? Yes. Sorry? Time management, yes, very good. Yes. Sorry? Attitudes, exactly. Your personality, attitudes. Anyone else? Yes. Yeah, problem solving skill. Very good. Yes. Anyone? Organizational skill. Organizational skill. Good. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, we have so many, right? See, when we talk about soft skills, actually, there are so many of you who are giving out answers. So you actually know more about soft skills than technical skills. Can anyone tell me technical skill? Maybe I didn't give you a chance. Yes.
Mathematical skills.
Mathematical? Yes, very good. And then mathematical skills. Yeah, very good. Anyone else?
Project management, Miss.
Project management. Okay, thank you very much. Who was that?
Mahir, Miss.
Mahir. Thank you, Mahir. Yes.
Web
Web analytics?
design, not web design, language, the web program language.
Yeah, exactly. Programming. Very good. That's the good stuff. Anything else? Okay. See, you have less information of technical skills. So whatever that you have just mentioned as the soft skills are the skills that you actually also put out when I asked you what is the trait of a successful entrepreneur, right? Do you still remember? Are you all in that class? Not in class, right? Yeah. So the traits of being a successful entrepreneur, you have time management, you have leadership, whatever, blah 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 blah. So it means that actually in success, to be successful in life, you kind of need more of the soft skills, not just the technical skills, right? But what we are actually teaching you in class are mainly, most of it are technical skills. I'm teaching you mathematics, I'm teaching you statistics, with all the technicals. We have marketing theories as well. Those are also somehow kind of technical skills. And then if I'm teaching you managing business information, that is Excel, about Excel, Microsoft Excel, that is also technical skills. So what we give you mostly are technical skills. But in class, we'll also give you projects that you have to do together with the group. Then at that point, you have to have teamwork. That is where your soft skill will come in. Will have to have time management to make sure that you submit on time. You will have to have communication skill to make sure that you don't have any problems with your teammates and so on, right? So those are more important than just the materials. So my point is that yes, the grades are very, very important. Of course, if you want to, go and become a successful, apply to a company, right? But if you want to become an entrepreneur, do you have to submit a CV to yourself? You don't have to submit a CV to yourself, right? You don't have to have a 3.99 GPA to be an entrepreneur, because that's your choice. And you employ yourself in it. You don't have to submit a CV. What you need is what? All of the soft skills that I just already mentioned, that you mentioned to me, right? So don't be too focused on the fact that I want to have a very good score in uni and so on, because again, all of your final career is to be entrepreneurs, as far as I know, because almost everyone said that they want to become entrepreneurs, right? So again, the integrity, the teamwork, the communication skills, those are all that are important. So please don't lose my trust. Please don't lose your friends' trust. Please don't lose networking, which is more important, over asking for answers in the exam. Because you might think that your friends are giving it willingly. It's okay. I asked for his permission. He's giving me the answers and he's fine with it. But deep inside, he will judge you as someone who is not prepared, as someone who has no integrity, and you basically lose that connection in the future, right? So don't lose all the important stuff over something that is as simple as exam answers, which you can get yourself if you actually study. And I told you before, right? In my class, as long as you listen to the course, as long as you listen to me, as long as you do the exercises together with me, you'll be able to pass. So if you are willing to do that, you will be able to pass, and you can, you can be proud of your own score. Okay, so I know, I've been.
Mau ke alam sutra.
Who is it? Did someone want to say something? No? Okay. So I know that I've been spending so much time now, I haven't gotten into the presentation yet. And some of you will still cheat, regardless of what I say now, I know. But I hope that whatever that I said will at least, reduce the amount of students that are cheating in an online exam. And again, another point is that it's not going to be very long till you have offline exam, right? You're here already now. So you never know what's going to happen. Maybe your midterm exam will be online, but your final exam will be offline, right? And if you rely on cheating, then obviously during the offline exam, that's not going to work. So why not just study for it, right? Why do you have to go through all of this process of cheating, being so afraid that you will get caught and face the consequences of being expelled from BINUS because you cheat? Why not just study? It's not that difficult, trust me. Especially in my class, just listen to me during class. That's it. You should be able to pass. Okay? Any questions before we actually get into the materials? I've talked for like half an hour, but I haven't gotten into the materials yet. Any questions? Online people? I mean, those who are in Zoom? No questions? Okay, let's go. So what are the do's and the don'ts in the exam? So I have to move this thing around so that people can actually see. What do I do? Let's just make it like that. Okay. Don't study for exams. That's right. You should not study only for exams. As I told you, don't study for exams. Study during the semester, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to study. So don't just study for the exams. Just study during classes. And studying is not, you have like to go through the materials, think really hard. No. Sometimes studying is just being there and listening to the lectures. It's as simple as that. Okay? And apparently it's very difficult because it's online, you have so many distractions, you have a phone with you, you're hungry, you want to eat, and so on. But that's why, yeah, for me, I really hope that we can go offline soon so that I know you're actually here, even though you're on your laptop and you're maybe some on your phone. But yes? Sorry? Okay, go ahead. But at least I know that you are here, right? So I hope that we can go offline real soon. And you shouldn't study for the sake of exams, and you should study for learning and understanding. Because when you understand, you don't have to remember. You don't have to remember when you understand. And that will make it very easy for you, right? If I understand, I don't have to learn. You don't have to remember. And remembering is the most difficult part normally, right? Because you have to remember, but you don't understand. It's very difficult. Like you have a set of numbers, it has no meaning, you have to remember it, it will be very difficult. But if you understand what the number is, for example, these are all odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, then it is easier. So basically, you have to understand. That's why in my class, normally I will always ask you, do you understand? Not do you remember, right? So please tell me in my class, you have my class. I don't think I'll teach you all this semester though. Maybe next semester. Please do ask your questions. There's no stupid questions. It's just because you don't know, you don't understand. That's why you ask those questions. So it's important for you to actually ask so that you understand. Okay. Want some good luck in your exams? Yeah, for sure. But luck is what happens when preparation is opportunity. This is not in the case of only exams yet. I mean in real life as well. You might think that some entrepreneurs go big because they're lucky, but they're not lucky. Why? Because they make preparations before. And when their preparations meet an opportunity and they make use of that opportunity, then somehow it's luck. But you always need to have preparations first. If you don't have preparations and the opportunity comes, you're not ready to take it, then you will miss it. And then it is actually luck, the fact that you have the opportunity to come to you, but if you're not prepared for it, then what's the point, right? And I always say that be confident most of the time. Be confident in yourself. And how do you become confident? How do you become confident? What makes you feel confident? I'm so sorry, I am very bad with names actually. So you told me your name once, but I know it's not gonna register anyway. So it's okay that I point to you guys, yes, Ben, right? Repetition. Repetition? That's how you will feel confident. Yes, very good. There is also preparation. Part of preparation is repetition. You repeat a few times. Anyone else? The ladies, come on. Volunteer. Yes, thank you. Practice. Practice makes perfect. Anyone else? And this is not just confident in your exam, it's confident as, in general. Yes.
Positive thinking.
Positive thinking, okay.
Optimism.
Optimism, yes. Anyone in Zoom? Oh, we have 39 people now. Why are there so many?
Believe in yourself, Miss.
Believe in yourself. Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else?
Do revision, Miss.
What? Do revision?
Yeah.
What do you mean do revision? You
Yeah,
mean
before
review?
exam, I like to do
Review?
revision before exam. Yeah.
Review the exams, okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes, Arjun.
Socializing.
Socializing. In general, if you want to be confident in general, yes, you can also socialize.
Training.
Training, yes, very good. Yes. Exercise, yes. You feel confident when you exercise at school. Yeah, anyone else? Yes. Experience, when you have experience, so you become confident, very good. Yes. Understanding, very nice. Yes, you have to understand for you to be confident, exactly. Anyone else? In Zoom? I know that you are there, actually, in Zoom, but I always like to do that. In Zoom, anyone? No? Finish? Okay. So basically, I think in my point of view, you become confident because you understand. I think that is one of the most main points. So if you understand, how do you understand? You have to do everything else that everyone has said. You have to review, you have to repeat, you have to do repetition, you have to go through some exercises and so on. And all of this is so that you understand the materials and you become confident in the exam. And it is also applicable for real life. Yeah. For example, in a working life, you have to present to the board of directors, which you will do later on if you become managers, right? You have to present to the board of directors. Of course, you're scared because they are the board of directors, right? And how do you become confident? And when you're confident, most of the time you will go well. You become confident with preparation, and you become confident with understanding what you are saying. So again, if you want to be comfortable during the exam, because when you're confident, you are comfortable, right? Then you have to do preparation. You have to prepare. And that preparation involves many things. You can repeat the materials a few times, you can review, you can make your own exercises, you can do a lot of things, but basically those are all preparations. So preparations are the ones that make you feel confident because you're prepared for it. And then during the exams, normally everything will go further smoothly. So make sure you prepare, okay? And then in the preparation stage, what are the do's in the preparation stage? First is you research your lecturer's style of exams, because different lecturers will have different styles of exam. Let me tell you my style of exam. My style of exam, I think, is the easiest. But students will always think that maybe because I'm difficult. I don't know why. But I think it's the easiest. Why? Because those are all exactly the same as what has been done in class. I will never give you exams that have never been discussed in class, because that's unfair, right? I've never discussed it in class, but it comes out plain. People always say you're taught A, B, C, D, and then in the exam it's like, you know, Y, Z, and so on, right? But not in my class. So in my class, it has been done. So I hate it so much when students cheat because it's there. I mean, it's exactly the same. We have done it in class. It's exactly the same. I'm probably just changing the case study, but everything is the same. Why do you still cheat, right? So it just a huge disappointment, yeah, a huge disappointment if you ever cheat in like this, because my exam styles are there. It has been discussed, but again, of course, it will be different with other lecturers because there are so many different kinds of lecturers, right? And you have to kind of know. And how do you know? Normally, in some classes, you have exercises, you have quizzes. Those are all before the exam. And just take a look at the quiz, just take a look at the exercises, their homeworks, and so on. You kind of see a pattern, like how is this lecturer type of questions? What kind of questions that they normally do? And I was very surprised, yeah. Oh yeah, I've never told you my background. Maybe I did. Okay. So for my bachelor, I was in UI. I was doing a double degree. So it was 2 years in UI and 1.5 years in University of Groningen in the Netherlands. And then my MBA and my PhD are both in China, in Wuhan. If you still remember, I told you, right? That's one interesting fact. So back when I was in the Netherlands, I was very, very surprised. Normally, in an exam, what you will have is whatever that is related to the materials, right? I mean, these are the materials. I studied the materials, that's it. And then in the exam, that is supposed to be what's come out. But you know, in the Netherlands, one of my lecturers, in the exam, he actually gave this kind of question. In the third session of my lecture meaning the lecturer's name, he mentioned about this. And then there is a question. So it was nothing to do about the materials. It was in his lecture, in the third session, he said something, and that was the question in the exam. Can you imagine? How would you remember his class, the third session of his class, right? But this lecturer is basically trying to see whether we actually attend the class, whether we are actually listening to the class and so on. But it was very shocking to me because, of course, I was studying the materials and it has nothing to do with the materials. He just all of a sudden gave us that kind of question, and it's not just one question. It was like a few questions. It was like in the 10th session, I mentioned about this book, which is not the textbook. And then what about the book, which was not the materials, you see? So sometimes different lecturers will give you different types of exam questions. For me, I would never do that. But for other lecturers, we don't know. So just make sure that you try to get to know your lecturer. And I believe that in BMM, all of the faculty members, we are all very, very keen to be close to our students. You know, you can text each other and so on. So you can get to know your lecturer better. And in that way, you will also get to know more about her or his teaching style. Incorporate the lecturer's focus and style in your studying, into your study. Study for open book exams, as though they were closed book exams. Because I know, well, everything is open book, right? Because it's online exam. Like, what can we do? It's not only open book, it's open internet, it's open phone, it's open whatever, right? That is also why I was so angry when I see students are still cheating. I mean, you have the PPT, you have the exercises, you have the internet even. Well, you still cheat, like copy from your friends, right? I mean, come on, that is like, the least you can do is not cheat. Because you have all of the information available to you. So, still study for it. Why? Because exams have limited time frame, right? You don't have all the time in the world to do the exam. So if you don't study for it, you don't know what the things are. So it means that, for example, I am giving you this question. It's about compound interest in mathematics, right? If you study, you will know, oh, this compound interest, I think it was in the beginning of the semester, so probably like session 2 or session 3, you open up your PPT, you find it, you can do it quickly. If you have never studied before, you have to go through all 30 sessions. Where is this compound interest? You find it one by one, and then you lose time. You can't do other questions. So even though it's an open, not book even, yeah, open all materials kind of exam, still study for it. Because then again, you have limited time. And really, for my exams, normally I will do it myself. And I will know how long it takes for me to do my own exam. And I tripled the time for you guys. So it's already triple the time of my time. And students still complain. They say it's not enough. So why? Why is it not enough? Because the students are not prepared and they don't understand anything. So they just go through all of the materials in the book, in the PPT and so on, but they don't know which one is which and so on. That's why it takes time. So I'm pretty sure that if you actually study, you know where things are, you know what it means and so on, my exam will be enough time for you. And then make your outline accessible by creating a table of contents of the different, meaning that you will make a session 1, this is the material, session 2, this is the material, so you have all of that. So if you have that kind of cheat notes of the table of contents, meaning which section is which material, during the exam, you know, this is like compound interest just now, you already know from your cheat notes in a way, table of contents, where the session is, you just open up that session's material. That's easier. Do you feel hot? Yes? No? You feel okay?
Yeah.
Is it just me? I feel hot. Maybe because I feel hot. Okay. So cheat sheets tips, if you are allowed to have cheat sheets, this is again, yeah, offline exams, but online exams, you have everything available to you. So they are allowed. So prepare one if it's allowed, which means you always prepare one because it's always allowed, right? In the online exam. Include the important visual cues, theory, and formulations or calculations. Make it easy to read and navigate. So make it by sessions and so on, right? So you do prepare these cheat notes, and when you review, you don't have to review the whole thing, just review your cheat notes, because your cheat notes is supposed to have everything that is needed for the exam. Okay? And then for the preparation stage, the don'ts. What shouldn't you do? Skip any test review sessions, the lecturer schedules, which I will schedule. I told you guys, right? Before exams, normally I will always offer. Who wants to have extra sessions so that we can clear up all of the problems that you have? We can clear up all the questions that you have. Here, the don'ts is to skip any review sessions. But I'm pretty sure that, you know, I know that it's a bit overwhelming sometimes to have too many classes. So I always make it optional. Who wants to have? If you don't want to have, then it's fine. It means probably you have already understood. But if you don't understand and you have questions, please do actually attend and actually say that you need an extra session, because I am very willing to do that. Yeah. Study matters and topics not covered in your class. This is the don'ts, yeah, not the do's, yeah. So don't study materials and topics that are not covered in your class. This is also very interesting. I'm doing business mathematics. I'm teaching business mathematics, right? So I teach everyone, this is how you do this question, this is how you do this question, this is how you do this session, and so on, right? All of a sudden, in the exam, not everyone, maybe almost half of the class answers this one specific question with a specific method that I've never taught in class. I've never taught it in class, never said anything about it, but all of a sudden, like, at least, you know, 5, 6 students answer that question in another method that I've never taught before, which later on I found out that that's how they do it in YouTube. So students are actually going to YouTube to find out how to do this question, maybe on the day of the exam, because they don't know how to do it, they just search it up. And that's how they do it in YouTube. And it's wrong, and by the way, the final answer is wrong. Maybe they did it wrongly because they couldn't really listen to the whole YouTube, but it is actually from an external source, which they got maybe in Google or something. And I was really surprised, right? Because it's not just one student, it's many students. So it shows that actually, I know the informations are all available to you in the internet, but trust me. I will always teach in class whatever that is going to come in the exam, so you don't have to look for those external resources to answer questions that I give in the exam, because I will definitely have already discussed it in class. But of course, this is not applicable to other subjects. So if, for example, your subject is about business ethics, and then your lecturer will probably ask you something that is related to ethics, and you have to give example in the real world. Of course, then you have to go through Google, find out what are the cases and so on. You have to use all the materials that are out there, external materials. So for example, in my class, you don't have to do that. Just focus on my explanation. Everything is there. You don't need to go and look it up yourself. And probably, you know, what is the difference between me and YouTube is that if I explain, you don't understand, you can ask me, I will answer. In YouTube, he or she explains, you don't understand, you ask question in the comment section, they probably will get back to you, I don't know, in a year or so, maybe, right? So you are here, you have me, please make use of me as in, you know, in learning the best that you can. So just don't just like, okay, I don't understand what Miss Brina is saying, I'm gonna Google it myself. So don't do that in my class, specifically for my class. If you don't understand, you ask me, because I'm the one explaining to you, right? So don't have that mindset that I can just Google whatever Miss Brina is saying. I have another class. You're in the class, please do ask. And not assume that an open book exam requires less study time. It does not require less study time. Why? Because again, if it's in the case of normal lengthy case studies that you have to do, most of the time the answers are not in the materials. If you open book exam, yeah. Meaning, for example, it's a business ethics again, class. And then they have the question, normally it's a case study. Most of the time, the answers will not be from your book. The answers will be your own point of view. What have you learned from business ethics class that you can apply to that case? So you have to study and understand so that you can apply it during the exam. So you still need to study. Okay? Procrastinate. Who likes to procrastinate? One. Who is an SKS? System kebut semalam. You just study one day before the exam and cram everything in. What is that? Oh, don't lie to me. It's impossible. There's only 1 out of 20. 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone else? 6? 6 out of 20. Are you sure? The others? You're not lying to me? In the Zoom. I can't see you now because I close you. But in the Zoom, one. Alex raise hand. Anyone else? FL, can you tell me how many people raise hand? Because I can't see from here. 3 participants raise hand. 4. More? Only 4 out of 30 something? That's like impossible. I'm pretty sure there are still so many of you who are doing just that. Study one day before the exam. 5 in total. Okay, we go. Thank you. So, that is a don't. I will let you know later because I want to share my experience with you as a student. And now I'm a lecturer, I can speak about all of this stuff, but I will share to you when I was a student and how I learned the way I learned last time when I was a student. So I'm gonna skip this and talk about it in the end. Hopefully we have time. If we don't have time, then I have to save that story for you later. Sometimes in class in the future, it doesn't work. Why? Okay. At the exams, what are the do's? You have to review the entire test and consider quickly performing a mind or brain dump. So write down relevant formulas, dates, and so on. So go through the exam. And then, okay, question 1, this is the formula. Question 2, this is the formula, and so on. So you can do that first in the beginning. Later on, you just follow the formula, right? But actually, this is more if it's an offline exam, so that you don't forget later on, right? But if it's an online exam, I don't really think you need to do this in the beginning because, again, everything is accessible to you. You can have it anytime you want. But it's important if you can just go through the entire class and you see sometimes most of the lecturers, they give you, you are allowed to do the questions according to the easiest to you. Meaning that you don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can go 3, and then 5, and then 7, and then 2. It depends on you, whichever is easiest for you. Okay. But sometimes other lecturers, they don't want to do that because it will be difficult for us to grade. But you can ask the lecturer before, yeah, Miss, can I answer it not in accordance to the numbers? And then here, how to answer your exam, formulate the thesis, which is a clear point that is being argued, to answer the question, organize your supporting points, and make a persuasive argument. So basically, these are all for subjects that are essay questions, yeah, not my subject. But if you have essay questions, these are the way you can do it. Try and complete any bonus or supplemental questions. Sometimes they have that. I never have that, but maybe some other lectures, they actually give you extra questions. For those of you who want bonus scores, then you can try to do that. Complete one final review of your task before you submit it. It is important, this one. In order to do the last one, you need to have what? Good time management. Because you need time to actually review it. Right? If you don't even have time to finish the questions, how can you review, right? So make sure that you actually have some time in the end to review everything, because sometimes that is the time when you can kind of think a bit clearer, because you're done with the exam, you feel more relief. And then that's when you actually can see some of the mistakes that you've made before. And the mistakes can be really small. Like in my case, it's just minus and pass. You know, sometimes you forgot minus with minus, it will become pass, and so on. But it will change your final answer. You will get some points deducted. So make sure that you actually check for those. At the exam, these are the don'ts. Don't make excuses. This is actually very, very common. I have students who write to me, who write a letter to me in the exam. That happens a lot. Miss, I'm sorry, I did not study for this exam. Miss, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it because of blah, blah, blah. Miss, I don't know how to do this question, sorry, and so on. We have that. I'm pretty sure all of the lecturers have to see that. But you don't have to write that. Just study, okay? Don't write that in the exam, but actually study for it so that you don't have to be sorry in the exam to ask. Don't lengthen your answer unnecessarily. Your lecturers give no credit for elaborations of the obvious, okay? I know maybe sometimes in the past, you know, it was kind of booming, trending that there's this exam, you wrote a lot of stuff. In the middle, it was like a Doraemon song or something. So there was actually nothing in the answer. It's just the beginning and the end that makes sense. But in the middle, it's like nothing. Like it's just, you know, some other unrelevant factors. We do read your answers. So please don't do that. Why do we read your answers? Of course, everyone needs to read your answers. But in your high school, how many students do you have in the class? RJ probably only have a little, because it's a new school.
No, around 20 people.
20 people, that is very little for high school. The 20 is like you guys now, right? How about the others in high school? Do you all go I think you all go to a very prestigious high school, right? Normally you will have only like limited number of students. In my case, last time I have 50 students in the class. 40, 50 students. And there is only one class. So you have many classes. Right? So what is the consequences of that happening if you have too many students in the class?
Too crowded.
Exactly, too crowded. That is during the lecture. We also have consequences on the exam. The teachers will have the difficulty of reading 50 answers if they're all case study questions. Maybe one answer is 1 page long, and you have so many questions. And then you have 50 students in the class, and you're only given maybe a week or 2 weeks after the exam to finish grading all of the subjects that you have. So of course, in that case, your teachers, maybe some of them couldn't properly read your answers, but that's not the case with us, because we only have 20 students in the class, 19 students sometimes, even 18, not even more than 20. So we will have time to read your answers. So don't try to just write whatever, to just make sure that it's long to get points, because that's not that. Okay? We will actually read your answers and grade according to your answer. So the more, the merrier. Doesn't work with the exam, yeah? If you have quality over quantity, but then your answers actually mean something. Avoid the kitchen sink approach, which is just putting unnecessary information in hopes to get more points, which lots of students do as well. They just write whatever again to gain some points. Leave out questions. Please don't leave out questions, yeah? and leave an exam early. Well, in this case, again, it's offline, but online, well, you don't exactly leave an exam, right? You just move on with your daily activities, but make sure you make good use of the time that is given to you. Okay, this is how to answer a short essay problem. For example, the question is, describe cluster sampling in a comprehensive way. This is a very open-ended question. Cluster sampling is a probability sampling technique where the whole population is divided into groups called the clusters, obviously, also it's cluster sampling. When there is a simple random sample of the groups is selected. So this is your definition or a standpoint, which basically answers the question. But then, of course, you have to give more description. Yeah? This method is used when there is a mutually homogeneous yet internally heterogeneous grouping, which can be seen in the whole population, and the method doesn't require all clusters to be used. It could be just from several chosen subgroups. You organize your supporting points. You probably have no idea what is this yet. Has anyone ever heard of cluster sampling before? Online, I mean Zoom people in Zoom. Anyone has ever heard of cluster sampling? No, yeah. It's more about, I think it's from advanced business statistics. So it's about getting sample. Do you know what is sampling? Yes, right. This is one of the methods of sampling. Okay. And then researcher could utilize cluster sampling by dividing the population by country groups. For example, Germany, France, Swiss, and so on. They can then pick just France and Germany group and take 50 from each country. A simple random sampling could then be used to gather the sample from each chosen country. So this is a persuasive argument or examples. So you give examples. This one is a bit too complicated, right? Mutually homogeneous yet internally heterogeneous. So you give example of what it means. And here it becomes clear, right? So this is how you actually supposed to answer your essay question. Your lecturers do read your answers, yeah? So describe certified sampling and comprehensive way. Certified sampling. The population is divided into non-overlapping groups or strata according to relevant dimensions such as gender, ethnicity, political affiliation, etc. The population is divided into groups or strata that do not overlap according to relevant dimensions such as gender, ethnicity, political affiliation, etc. The population is divided into non-overlapping groups or strata according to relevant dimensions such as gender. You think we don't need to answer it, right? If you will answer it this way. This is the same thing. You're just repeating the same sentence 3 times. Will I triple your mark? Of course not, right? We'll just give you score for the first sentence and that's it. And the last one, the researcher then collects a random sample of population members within each strand. So never do this, yeah? Because we read your answers and we know those are the same things. You're just repeating it 3 times. Okay? We will not give you 3 times. 3 for the score. Okay. This is my final questions. If you are with me, these are the questions that you will get. How to answer computational problems? This is my kind of problems. Management would like a 95% confidence interval and a margin of error no greater than plus or minus 2%. Based on luxury market information, female comprises 60% of luxury consumers. Calculate the required sample size for this study. If you're in my class, these are the questions that you will get from me. Headaches. I see people are like headaches. Well, don't worry. If you're in my class, you'll be able to answer this kind of question because I will definitely discuss it one more. So first, identify the variables, not the variables yet. I don't know whether you still do this. In the past, we have diketahui, ditanyakan. Do you still do that? Oh yeah. Oh, that is so old school. Oh yes. Oh, thank you. I feel so old if no one actually does that anymore. You normally diket and then ditanyakan. You have what do you know, and then what is being asked. Normally that's what you do in high school exams in my time. So diketahui, ditanyakan. First, you need to do the diketahui, which is what you know, and what you know is all given in the question. So it's very easy. But you need to know what are all of this. What is this 60%? What is this 95%? What is this 2%? In statistics, what is that? Here, if you have a 95% confidence interval, it means that your z value, it will be difficult for me to explain because you don't have the reason. But basically, the z value is 1.96, which you will know if you will time my class. And then the proportion of p is 60% or 0.6. The margin of error is 0.02 or 2%, right? So how much is the n? N is ditanyakan. N is the one that is ditanyakan. What is being asked? That is n. Sample size is represented by n. So you write the necessary formula, which is this, n equals to z squared p 1 minus p over e squared. No need to confuse about it because z is just 1.96, p is 0.6, e is 0.02. So you have all of the information. You just need to apply to the formula. Z is 1.96 square multiplied by p, which is 0.6, and then 1 minus that, and then divided by e is the margin of error 0.02 square. And then you get that the answer is this much, 2,305 people. So these are all necessary. Don't just give me this, the final answer. In a computational questions in my class, never give me only the answer. Probably the score for it is just 1, because it's not important, the final answer. What's important is what? How do you get to that answer? Do you know the formula? What do you use and so on? If you just give me the final answer, it means you copied from someone, in my point of view, because you don't know how to do it. You just know the final answer, right? So here, like for example, just give me 250,000 because 2,000. These are all unacceptable. I will give you a score, maybe like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5 if I'm fine enough. But all of the computation here is very, very important. And for example, you just give me this and maybe the formula, but you don't actually do the calculation. You don't give me the answer. I might give you 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. Because it's just applying the formula. Everyone can do that. It's just typing in numbers in a calculator. As long as you know all of this, you should be able to do it. But it's not the case if you just give me this. If you give me this, I give you 1 out of 5. Even though that's the final answer. Okay? So in my class, what's important is how you do it. And most of the time, I will ask you to do everything in Excel. So in Excel, you can give me the final answer. Why? Because I can just click on it and I can see the formula. You all know how to use Excel, right? So in Excel, you can give me the final answer, but that final answer is from a formula that I can see in the Excel. Okay? Okay. This is the same thing as before. No excuses, no apologizing, no insult. So don't give me this in the end of your exam, which I still get even until now. Meaning sorry, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Don't be sorry, just study so that you're not sorry. Yeah. Don't waste time doing useless things like this. Normally people that do this is basically, they're already hopeless. They don't know what to do anymore. So I'll just do whatever. Just spend time during the exam, right? But mostly this is done again in offline exam. If you're doing online exam, maybe you just go and make some Indomie and eat because you don't know what to answer in the exam, right? So no need to do all of this. Very unnecessary. This one. At least write something, especially for my exam. Why? Because my exam is like this. I give you some answers. I give you the numbers and everything. Just rewrite it. Just do this. This is the question, yeah? Just write margin of error E equals to 0.02. Proportion equals to 0.6. This is not doing anything, kan? Because this is the question. Everything's in the question anyway. But if you rewrite it this way, you write the diketahui, I'll give you some points. So don't just leave it empty. Okay? If you leave it empty, I cannot give you any score to help you. But for example, in the exam, passing grade is 50. This is being recorded there, but never mind. Passing grade is 50, you get 48 or 49. Normally, I'll be very kind. I'll look through your answer and I'll give you that one point or 2 points so that you pass. But if it's an empty answer, I cannot give you anything, right? It's impossible that I give you one from writing nothing. But I will give you one if you write at least something. Walaupun, even though it's not, it has nothing to do with answering it, but you just write something, I might give you like one or two. But please don't just leave it like this. Okay? All the best. Just out of curiosity, how do you expect to do well on the midterm if you haven't read any of the material? Again, luck is what happens when preparation is opportunity. So, how do you expect to do well if you don't study for it, right? Obviously, you can't do well if you don't study for it. And no, luck is not just going to happen to you all of a sudden. Maybe, yes, in multiple choice questions. But nowadays, I think most of the lecturers, we never really give multiple choice questions anymore. So, no, you cannot use luck in your exam. If you don't study, you will most obviously fail the course. Okay? Okay, we have time. So now I will tell you a little bit more about my way of learning. Because maybe some people, they always ask, Rina, how do you study so that you can get good scores, right? Well, for me, how I study is that first, I don't procrastinate. So SKS is the biggest no-no ever. Because it will get you nowhere. You'll be too stressed and too tired for the exam. Because the day before, you study, you cram everything in your head. The next morning, you wake up feeling very tired. You wake up feeling very stressed because you're cramming everything up. In the exam, most likely you won't do really well. So for me, I always plan. I love planning. Planning is your best friend. Even though people say humans can only plan, God will do the rest. Basically, I mean, if you plan, we never know what's going to happen, whether the plan is going to go through. But with studying plan, you have the power, right? So most of the time, if you plan well, then you'll be able to do it. So what I do is normally I will divide the materials so that it is the easiest for me to study. Meaning of it's like mid exam is coming, and 5 chapters is coming out. You have 5 chapters. Can I study 5 chapters in one day? The SKS people will answer, yes, I can. I will just study 5 chapters in one day, right? But no, of course you can't. I mean, a normal human being, well, you can study, like just go through it, but you can never understand 5 chapters in one day. So what I do, I know I don't like to study very much. So I will just give very, very little time to study every day. I will study maybe like half an hour, 1 hour, that's it, in a day. You have to know yourself well, yeah. Some people can study 3 hours and still focus. For me, half an hour is enough. 1 hour is too much. So it depends on you. Knowing that fact that I can only study maybe like 45 minutes a day, I just divide. Okay, is it enough 45 minutes to study 1 chapter? If yes, then it is I need 5 days because I have 5 chapters. And then I don't give it every day, 5 days, meaning minus 5, yeah, meaning 5 days before the exam. No. Why? Because there are days I don't want to study, right? You just be true to yourself, be true to your capacity. So instead of giving 5 days, I'll give a week before the exam. I'll just study 45 minutes a day for 1 chapter and 5 chapters in a week, meaning I can have 2 days where I don't need to study at all. If you have such light weight, meaning it's very light, right? It's just 45 minutes is not too long. I don't know for you guys, but for me, it's not too long. I will actually go according to my plan. But if my plan is, I am going to study for 3 hours a day, I can study 2 chapters in a day. So I will only need 2.5 days. So 3 days before the exam, I will study according to that. 3 hours a day, 3 days in a row to finish 5 chapters. Most likely it will not happen because I know my own capacity. I cannot study 3 hours a day. That's too much for me. Okay, so always cater to your own capacity. How long can I study in a day? And then divide it accordingly and be really lenient to yourself. So if you need 5 days, give it a week. If you need a week, give it 2 weeks before the mid-exam. So when do you start planning? In the beginning of the semester, you start planning. You don't start planning when it's almost mid-exam, then you don't have time to go back from mid-exam to how long you need to study. So in the beginning of the semester, all of the lecturers actually give you syllabus. What's a syllabus? People in Zoom? People in Zoom? Yes, again.
That's where they show what you're covering throughout the semester.
Exactly, that's where they show what you're going to learn throughout the whole semester. So you already know what you're going to learn, people. You're not giving you kucing dalam karung, a cat in a bag. You know what you're going to learn for the whole semester already in the beginning of the semester. You know how you're going to get your final score. How many percent is your quiz? How many percent is your final exam? How many percent is your mid-exam? How many percent is your class participation? For example, different classes, different subjects have different assessment. So go through it. Miss, I failed my mid-exam. Will I fail the whole course? I don't know. You go and calculate yourself. How much is your mid-exam? That is 35% of the final score. How much is your quiz? That is 15%, for example. So how much do you need to get in your final exam to pass the course? You should know. We give it all to you in the beginning, so you should know. You can plan your own self. So don't come to me and say, Miss, I failed the mid-exam. I'm going to fail the whole subject. No, you're not going to fail the whole subject because you failed mid-exam. There are so many different assessment methods. If you do really well in your quiz, if you do really well in your final exam, even though your mid-exam is 5 out of 100, you can still pass. Why? Because mid-exam is not going to be more than 50% of the final grade. Maybe it's 75%, maybe it's 35%. So even if you get 0 in mid-exam, you can still get 75, or you can still get 65. If you make sure the others are all 100, for example. So go through the syllabus. You plan from the beginning of the semester. You know how much you need to get for your midterm, how much you need to get for your final exam to make sure that you actually pass. And if your aim is not passing, your aim is getting an A, your aim is getting an A minus, then you do the math. How much do I need to get an A minus, and so on. Okay, and then you can also calculate your own GPA. Some of you probably just believe the system. Of course, you should believe the system if they are doing it automatically. But if I want to know how much I should get this semester to get this much GPA, you can also calculate it yourself. Do you know how to calculate your GPA? No, I see some people saying no. People in Zoom, do you know how to calculate your GPA? No answers. You don't know how to calculate your GPA? What if we fool you and give you a lower GPA then? We will never do that because it's by the system. But I mean, you should at least know how to calculate your own GPA. No one knows? Let me ask you this question then. If you get an A in my class, business mathematics, that is 2 SU, and you get an A in my other class, which is managing business information, that is 4 SU. Will it have the same effect on your GPA? If you get an A in my 2 SU class, and if you get an A in my 4 SU class, will it have the same effect on your GPA? Yes? RJ say yes. Anyone else? Okay. If you think that they will have the same effect, the same effect. No? Okay. If you think getting an A in my 2 SU class and getting an A in my 4 SU class have the same effect on your GPA, please raise your hand. Do you think they will have the same effect? If you think that they don't have the same effect, please raise your hand. How about others who did not raise your hand? You need to have an opinion, people. One more time. If you are getting an A in my 2 SU course and you get an A in my 4 SU course, will they have the same effect on your GPA? If you think they will have the same effect, please raise your hand. They are both an A. If you think they have different effect, please raise your hand. How about people who did not raise their hand? Okay, but mostly say they will have different effect. So at least you know the concept, right, of getting your GPA. It doesn't only depend on your score, A, and so on. But it also depends on the SU. So of course, if you do well in a higher SU course, it will have a bigger effect on your GPA. Yes, Tati.
Every subject has different grade points, right? Every subject has different grade points.
No, the grade points are the same. The passing grade are different.
So the SU is different.
The SU is the same. So it's like this. I know what RJ is asking. People, you're all very millennial, not millennial, sorry, you're all Gen A. Also Gen Z? No, you're all Gen A. No? Gen Z? Oh, okay. Gen Z people. I'm also Gen Z. So I'm out. Gen Y. 1992. What is the age range of a Gen Z?
Start from 1999.
Start from 1999. I'm still a millennial. Gen Y is millennial. By the way. Gen Z is not millennial, right? Yes. Okay. I want to change the. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, Gen Z. Please go Google now. What is the BINUSIAN grading system? So, an A is how much? Oh, the other one. What am I doing?
Okay. A is 4 points.
How about an A minus?
3.67.
How about a B
Plus.
plus?
B plus 3.33.
People see, people can't see anyway, right? People in Zoom, can you see?
Yes, Miss.
You can see what I'm writing?
Yes.
Oh, cool. A B?
3.
C
B minus.
B minus. B minus
2.5.
2.5. FL, my session is under what time? 10:40, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then C,
C is 2.
there's no C plus and C minus, right?
Yeah, after C it's a
Okay. How much is the D?
1. Yeah, number 0.
Okay, E is a 0. So this will be the same for all courses. For all subjects, this is the same. If you get an A, you get a 4. If you get an A minus, how much will you? But passing grade will be different. Passing grade means that, for example, for my class, passing grade is B. Whoever that Google, A is how much to how much? Your score.
96.
A minus?
85 to 89.
B plus?
80 to 84.
B?
75 to 79.
B minus?
70 to 74.
C?
65 to 69.
D?
50 to 64.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. So, now you see. So, if you get, for example, oh, sorry, I'm talking about passing grade, yeah. Passing grade will be different for each subject. So, you have to know how much is the passing grade. For my classes, most of the time, passing grade is D. It means if you get a 50, you pass. If you get 49, you fail. 49 below, you fail. But there are other classes, maybe like, I don't know, Bahasa Indonesia, Academic English, and stuff like that. Passing grade is C. So if you get 63, you fail. If you get 65, then only you pass. So different passing grades, yeah. Remember, you have to ask normally the lecturer, or you can ask student service as well. They can check it for you. How much is the passing grade? But most of my classes, passing grade is 50. A D. You get a D, you pass. Okay. Now talking about GPA. So basically, if you get an 80 in my class, there is a B class. It will be 3.3. You have to multiply with the SU first to make the SU matters. So, for example, you get an A and the SU is 2. You will get an 8. 4 multiplied by 2. In another course, you got an A minus. SU is also 2. You get, how much is that? 7.34. Okay, in another class, you get a B plus. SU is 4. 3.3 multiplied by 4, 13.2. In another class, you get a B. SU is also 4. How many SU are you taking now, for example, with these 4 courses in total? You are taking 4 classes, 2 SU, 2 SU, 4 SU, and 4 SU. In total, how many SUs are you taking? 12, right? 4, 8, 12. In total, you have 12 SU. How much is the score in total here? If you have to calculate. Right? 40.54, right? So this is your score, 40.54. This is the number of SU that you take. You divide 40.54 divided by 12. Okay, someone? One calculator. How much? 3.37. This is your GPA. That's how you calculate your GPA. So you see, you get A and A minus, but they're only worth 2 SU, the classes. So your final GPA is closer to B plus, 3.3, right? Because the B class and the B are the classes with 4 SU. So if I switch it, yeah, this is 4 SU, this is 4 SU, let's try. I just want to give a comparison, yeah, we have a lot of time. You get an A for a 4 SU, that is a 4 multiplied by 4, that will be 16. You get an A minus for another 4 SU. How much is that? People. 14 points? Yes. Yeah. 8, right? You get a B class 2.3 for the 2 SU. You get a B for another 2 SU. You are taking the same 12 SU. And this, if you cross that out, how much do you get? Can someone help me? 43.28 divided by 12? Up. How much is the thing of the number? The thing was how much is it the number rounding up? 1361. 3.61 without rounding up. The one is? How much is the number after it?
It was
378. Then it's 338. You round up if it's more than 5, number after, and then right? Okay, so you see now, you get the same exact rates. You get 1A, 1A minus, 1B plus, and 1B. Exactly the same. You also get 1A, 1A minus, 1B plus, and 1B. The difference is the SU. Here, for SU, are for the two lowest score. Here, for SU are the two highest score. You see, it's a lot of difference. You get a 3.61 GPA here, but you get only a 3.38 GPA there. So that is a big difference, right? As you can see, that 3.61 is already above 3.5, meaning that it's, I don't know, your mark is about 3.5. But this one is only 3.38. So that is actually a big difference, right? Comparing which, how much score that you get for how much SE. So not only the score is good, the score is important, but the SU is also important. But that does not mean you should not study for the less SU score, yeah? Less SU classes. These are my classes. You should also study for it. But if you get an A or B, you know that higher SU will give you more effect. It will have more effect on your GPA, final GPA. Okay? Any questions so far? I am like talking for so long. Can I just take a sip of screen? Any question from the Zoom people as well? Where is my thingy? Hold on. Yes. Yeah, it's okay, no problem.
You have an exam offline or
Mm-hmm.
is it usually on a calculator exam or is it usually a non-calculator?
It's an open calculator exam. For all subjects, it's always open calculator, online or offline. Because when you get here, as in the university, it doesn't matter whether you can count. I mean, what's important is like the concept and the formulas and so on. You can actually do and understand the concept, but the calculation, it's not as important anymore because you have learned all of that in high school, right? But trust me, there are still some students who can't even use calculator properly. There are students who have to ask me, Miss, how do I put this into my calculator? Like if you have, for example, power of something or like square root of something. So yeah, it's on open calculator, but make sure that you know how to use your calculator. Okay. Any other question? Well, I'm just a bit resting here. We still have 10 minutes left, around 10 minutes. People in the Zoom. Let me stop sharing so that I can see you. How are you all in the Zoom? Bumira is here. Hi, Bumira.
Good, miss.
Good, miss.
Good. That's great to hear.
Hi, Brina.
Hi, Bumira.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you? How's Zara?
Yeah, she's getting better.
Ah, that's good.
She'll be better, yes. Okay. Yeah, enjoy the class, guys.
Thank you, Bumira. Zara is Bumira's daughter, by the way.
Thank you, Miss Mira.
Thank you, Miss Mira.
Additional explanation.
Okay, no questions? All good? But yes, all good, no questions at all. Maybe you have questions other than the ones that I've discussed, meaning very irrelevant questions, that will also be fine. No questions? All good? All good? About the GPA, all good? And it's, of course, the system will do everything for you, but this is used so that you can target yourself. So next semester, I want to get a higher GPA. For example, I get 3.38 this semester. I want to get more than 3.5. Next semester, I have to get how much? You can also calculate that. Try to use Excel to simulate so that you know how much scores that you need for each of the course. Gitu. Okay? Good? Everyone's good? If everyone is good, we are 10 minutes early. I think it should be fine. You can have a longer break. Do you have another session at 10:40? No? So you all go back after this? Yes? Okay, well, I will use the remaining 9 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, to just ask. How possible that you are all already like kind of having your own friends? I mean, you have your friends already. I'm very curious. You're all from different high school, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I see you all already like, you know, mingling and like, you know, getting to know each other. It's only your second time seeing each other in person. This is your second day, right? Like, how is that possible? What did you do? The group? Oh, the FL group?
We also have a Discord. We sometimes call and everything.
Wow, that is awesome. So it is actually making some benefits, yeah, that you have FL before and you have a group and so on. So you know that out there, I have my friends already waiting, other lecturers waiting. So I guess there's no other question. We'll finish it up early, 10 minutes early. Have a safe trip back home. Make sure that you still keep your distance and so on. Be safe, be healthy. And I'll see you in, no, I will not see you in class, at least not this semester, maybe upcoming semester, but I'll see you around.